I don't think you're involved in this any more than somebody wants you to be.
That source I told you about when she was abducted.
I told you to be ready.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 action film Gasoline Alley. A film that is co-written and directed by Edward Drake, and it stars Devon Sawa, Bruce Willis, Luke Wilson and Kat Foster. Now this film focuses on Devon Sawa's character, who is a tattoo artist who is being framed for the murder of some young women. The detectives investigating the case are Bruce Willis and Luke Wilson's character, Detective Freeman and Vargas. And they are investigating it, and he is the prime suspect, Devon Sawa. However, he is street smart and he wants to prove his innocence and find out who is killing these women because he had a particular interest in one of them. Right, what are my thoughts on Gasoline Alley? Well, it's 2022, guys, and here we are again. Another year, another probably series of terrible Bruce Willis films. Now, this one is directed by Edward Drake, and he has directed at least 3 of Bruce Willis's last outings: Cosmic Sin and American Siege, Bring to Mind, and Apex as well, I think. I could be wrong, but he's directed at least 3 or 4 of Bruce Willis's anyway. And the saving grace here, guys, is that Bruce Willis is barely in this film. He's a side character rather than a main character. You don't see him for the majority of the film, apart from a couple of scenes here and there. And right at the end of the film, he's in it a little bit more. So you couldn't really go as far as to say that Bruce Willis is the main star here in this film. Thankfully, or thankfully not, depending on your view of Bruce Willis and his input into movies these days. For me, it's a good thing because, to be fair, when Bruce Willis is on screen here, his performance is not good. Now, I don't know whether this is true or not, but I read an article recently that Bruce Willis is suffering from dementia, and these days in films he's like in the early stages of dementia, and in films at the minute he wears an earpiece and someone kind of feeds him his lines. And he's wanted to do as many films as he can to earn like a paycheck before he has to retire. I don't know how true that is. It might be complete and utter twaddle for all I'm aware. All I do know is that this is the Bruce Willis that we have come to expect these last couple of years, and it's not a great performance again. Devon Sawa, in actual fact, I think is a surprisingly interesting lead here. Now, he's given nothing interesting to do. I mean, the plot here in this film is nonsensical at best. You have no idea why Devon Sawa's character is being set up, what's the purpose behind it, what his link is to it. The Gasoline Alley is the name of his tattoo parlor. So his involvement in this film is a bit of a mystery. It doesn't make any sense. And there's this plot line as well that we learn about, modern day slave labor sort of thing, selling women across the border, and you're kind of thinking, where's this come from? I don't really get it. Kind of is sprung on you out of nowhere. So there's a few plot lines here in this film. You're just kind of like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you kind of go along with it, I suppose. So I actually didn't think Devon Sawa was too bad in this film. I mean, he's in great shape. I mean, you see him with the shirt off a couple of times in the film, and you actually think he could actually be a fairly legitimate action star if he was given the right movie. This isn't the right movie. It doesn't really do him any justice at all, but he's the best thing in this film, Devon Sawa. Luke Wilson, again, he's not terrible in this film, but he doesn't suit the role. He doesn't suit the part either. Him playing a cop, I just don't buy it. He's a little bit too laid back and chill for me for playing a cop. But again, he's not awful or anything in the film. For me, this film is difficult to watch in many aspects because it's just so lackluster. It's so dull. For the majority of this film, we're following Devon Sawyer's character around, who is trying to solve these murders himself, I suppose. And he's not interesting, he's not really a detective, and he starts getting answers from people, and again, you're like, who's this? He starts going on to these, like, movie sets or set of a TV show or something like that. And you're just kind of thinking, well, how does this link into everything? It just doesn't make any sense. And he's getting guns off people who works on this film set and things like that. It's just like all these characters, and you're just kind of scratching your head thinking, well, who's this now? What is their involvement in the film? And to some degree, it feels like filler. And again, it's constantly being attacked as the Devon Sawyer character. Which, to me, if they're trying to set him up for these murders, do your job, plant the evidence, and just back off and let him take the fall. They just keep interfering and getting in the way of everything. So the plot is ridiculous, really. It's not horrifically bad, this. The best thing in the film is Devon Sawyer. But the rest of it, forget it. It's just pretty dull stuff, and there's nothing original in it at all. And it's a hard film to recommend. So therefore, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.